Congressman, a lot of talk about the budget and Friday and the deadline and all, but my understanding, the clock is running just on procedurals. I think you got to have 3 days before you debate something in the House. I know you voted Friday on a Government Shutdown Prevention Act. Talk about that some.
Yeah, on Friday we went ahead and of course I voted for it. It was a bill that said if the Senate does not take up our CR, our $61 billion worth in cuts, that they automatically go into effect, and if not, we don't get paid. So we tried to push that through. All of this is to try and get the Senate to take some action. You know, it's been almost 45 days since we passed our CR, and a lot of people don't realize this CR is just expending from now till the end of September. We're not even talking about the big budget yet.
There's talk of a deal, a number. What are you being told, if anything?
Well, on Friday, we were told that there really has been very little negotiations. This weekend, I think, was the first start of the negotiations. And ultimately, you know, we've said all along, it's interesting. We have a $1.6 trillion deficit, and we're talking about $61 billion in cuts, 3%. We have to get, as I've said in my business world all the time, if you can't cut out the donuts, you'll never cut out the big things. We got to get past this and move on to the big budget.
Well said, because we're borrowing like $3-4 billion a day just to keep going. With that said, Congressman Paul Ryan, who's one of the Republican leaders on the budget over the weekend, talking about, as you say, finally maybe some major cuts in the future, and that's the real work that's coming up, right?
Right. I mean, a lot of people have been so focused on this CR and the $61 billion in cuts, but the budget that'll be presented this week is really going to be the driver. It's where we're going to be looking at everything: entitlement programs, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security. Everything has to be looked at, not to cut. You know, people get concerned that we're talking about cutting Social Security. What we're trying to do is make Social Security solid again and not affect people 55 and older, and maybe try and look to the younger generation and how we can make this more solider.
Congressman Jim Renacci with his update from D.C. this morning. Congressman, thanks much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, Bill.